Bartenders, what's the most brutal story you have in your arsenal that you can never forget? Around 10 p.m., crowded bar that's getting more lively. A girl approaches the bar counter, obviously just arrived. Security checked her documents. She takes out her ID and gets her bank card. Orders a pitcher of the cheapest beer you have. It's all the same to her, doesn't matter what kind. Immediately pays and leaves a tip. I ask how many mugs to give her. She answers, not a single one. Strange. She just arrived. She doesn't have any company. The answer didn't keep me waiting long. She calmly packed her things back into her bag, threw it over her shoulder, took the pitcher, went behind a couple, man and woman sitting about 3 meters away from her, and poured the entire pitcher of cheap beer over the guy's head, called him a cheater, and left, calm, collected, and brutal. Once during the night shift, a man came into our dive bar, well-dressed, sober, not at all the type who usually shows up at 2 a.m. I poured him drinks, opened his tab, but instead of going back to his book, I just watched him, wondering what his story was. After his second glass, he told me everything. The guy had a fight with his fiancée. She angrily left the house, got in her car, got into an accident, and died. It was the anniversary of her death, and tonight he was terrified of being alone. So he came to me. I thought, screw it all. And we got completely wasted on my boss's tab. Don't feel bad for him. I'm pretty sure the bar was a front for money laundering. When my shift ended, I literally stuffed him into a taxi and sent him home. 2 days later, when I came to work, there was an envelope with my name on it lying on the bar counter. Inside was a beautiful thank you note and $500 in cash. Sunday evening shift. Last seating at the restaurant, huge family gathering. There are 3 of us, me and 2 waiters. They bring the check, and at that moment, the guy who organized the dinner tells the family that everyone pays for themselves. A fight breaks out over money, which quickly escalates into a real brawl. We had a seafood bar restaurant, and someone tore a plastic fish off the wall and started aggressively swinging it around. In the end, they paid, with 8 different cards. Fortunately, our tips were automatically included in the check. Once a woman came to us, she was flirting with me, talking about her rich, married lover doctor. She was the only customer in the bar for about 30 minutes, sweet lady. Half an hour later, a couple came in. I started taking their order, and she began hitting on me. I said I'd come over in a minute. She got up, took her almost full second cocktail, and went to the bathroom. Then she started walking out as if she was really drunk. I warned the manager that she might have had a bit too much to drink. About half an hour later, I realized she hadn't come back, so I asked someone to check on her. It turned out she had hurt herself badly. We called an ambulance immediately, and thankfully they managed to save her. As they carried her out on a stretcher, I was giving my statement to the police. She looked me straight in the eyes and just shrugged. The whole thing left me shaken for a month. A woman bursts into the bar and sees her boyfriend sweetly drinking with some girl, who he's obviously cheating on her with. She yells at him for several minutes, then finishes with a phrase addressed to the mistress. Next time, when you're sucking his lollipop, remember that he was just in my ass. Honestly, I had a hard time keeping myself from applauding her. I used to work as a bartender at a wedding venue. During the reception after the day ceremony, the groom constantly came to the bar ordering drinks. He never approached with the bride. The guy left normal tips, but as he got drunk, he became more generous, crying with 50s, then with hundreds, saying to leave the change for himself. Turns out he was just pulling cash out of envelopes with cards. In the end, I refused to serve him, but apparently someone kept pouring for him. When they were already carrying him out, I saw his pregnant bride at a very late stage and very upset bride for the first time. I offered to return her almost $500 that he had given me as tips, but she graciously said to keep it and added, he'll pay for this. It is going to be very, very expensive for a long time. I often worked evening shifts. Once I refused to serve one of the regulars because he looked pale and sickly. I was genuinely afraid it would be his last drink. As it turned out, he died a few days later. I worked as a tour guide at a liquor distillery. Once after a tour, I was returning to the bar counter. One guy after the tour came up and said casually, "I can see you're on the spectrum. I have autism too." He said it completely matter-of-factly. I've never been given such a diagnosis, and not even one doctor has ever hinted at this. Now, a year has passed, and I still think about this incident. I'm not offended. I understand that autism is just something unexpected.